Hello, everybody. I'm Rikki Smith. Welcome to Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, our goal is to drive motivation by closing the door on the comfort zone, to foster inspiration by exploring what's possible, and to also look at transformation by absolutely challenging those unproductive mindsets. And today is no different. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. Okay, so all of you creatives, whether you are sculptors, painters, dancers, or photographers, there is a special spirit within you. The thing that you see something different than anybody else, and your heart's desire is to want to share it with the world in whatever medium you choose. But how do you get started? Where do you get started? And where do you find your inspiration? We're going to talk to somebody today who's going to tell us all about it. But first of all, everybody, please say hello to the grumpy veteran photographer. I just call him Stu. Y'all, please say hello to our guest today. Stu, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for
I'm
having me.
so good. Thank you so much for being here. Now, I love the name of your photography studio. Tell everybody the name of your photography.
It's Grumpy Vet Photography.
Love that. There's so much to talk about now. We're gonna get there too. But before we get started, Stu, tell us a little bit about yourself and where it is that you're located.
I'm located here in El Paso, Texas. But a little bit about me. Grew up, born and raised in Houston, Texas. And at the age of 18, I decided to get the heck out of there and I joined the Army and did 21 years. A lot of that was just a lot of traveling. Every 3 years, I was on the move somewhere. And came here in 2017 and loved it. I love
Yeah.
the weather because with me being from Houston, I got that Houston allergy set. I don't know if it's the pecan trees, the oak trees, the cypress trees, or what, but I was always clogged up and stuffed up. But when I
Yeah.
came here, I never got sick.
Mm,
And I love the mountains, the dry weather. It's hot, but I mean, you can always go inside until it cools off a little bit.
right.
So,
I
and in
love it.
2020 is when I started the first time I picked up a camera and really said, okay, let me try this photography thing.
Okay.
I'd been an artist my whole life,
Mhm.
but it was always drawing and painting and that kind of thing. But I never really picked up a camera. And then I was like, you know what? I got to find a way after I retire to put some of this artistic ability to use because I
Yeah.
don't finish sketches, didn't finish paintings and all that kind of stuff. Then I got hit with a diagnosis of ADHD, and that answered a lot of the
Oh, I
questions.
bet.
From 2020 to 2023, I just played around. And
Mhm.
then once moving here, finally bought a house, moved here in 2023 and said, you know what? Let me see if I can monetize this hobby.
Like
And
it.
I got started from there. So really
All
only
right.
been professional
Mhm.
a year. So yeah.
Still, wow, there's so much in that. First of all, thank you for your incredible service. Not everybody does it, and not everybody who does it retires. So thank you so much for
Right.
that. We appreciate you.
Welcome.
So you said you picked up a camera on a whim. Now, being a creative all your life, all the
Hmm.
drawing, all the sketching, all the things, what drew you to still photography?
It was the fact that when you started sketching and drawing, I just it all it took was for me just to pick up the pencil,
Mhm.
have to either sharpen it or clean my paintbrushes off to start painting again. I would just lose that entire momentum and mojo of what I
Okay.
was doing. And next
Mhm.
thing you know, I wouldn't finish it.
Mhm.
But when I picked up a camera, because my ex-wife used to always tell me, "Man, your photos are the best. Let's use your photos to send them in to create the
Mhm.
family little
Oh
vignettes."
yeah. Yeah, family
Uh,
Christmas pictures and stuff.
right, and that
Hmm.
was all through cell phone. And
Yeah.
then I just picked up a camera and was like, "There's something here."
Hmm.
There was just like it was instant art. All I had to do was just polish it up a
Wow.
little. Just
Instant art.
go from sketch to final product.
Hmm.
As soon as you hit that shutter, as long as you can see it, the picture is there. It's just a
There it
matter of
is.
polishing it.
Yeah.
and learning and fine tuning a few different things. That,
Yeah.
I jump on YouTube University all the time, and
I love it. YouTube
I
you.
call myself a self-taught photographer. So everything you
Wow.
want to find is on YouTube.
That is so true because I figured out how to fix my toilet from YouTube. Don't judge me, I'm just saying, but it works. So
Yeah,
so I totally get the whole YouTube you. But when you picked up your camera and you said, this is what I'm going to start doing, and as a hobby, what sort of things were you shooting at first?
everything. Because it's more than picking up a camera and just snapping. You
Hmm.
find that out pretty quickly. Like, okay, it's a good picture, but it's crap.
Huh.
Um, and it's all about light, composition, shadow, value, texture. All those different things still go into photography. Which,
Hmm.
being an artist my whole life, all that stuff almost came natural. It was just a
Yeah.
matter of now learning some of the technical things with the actual camera, the buttons, the settings, the this, the that I had to
Wow.
learn.
Hmm.
Uh, so all the other stuff, I can't teach that. And I
Hmm.
tell a lot of photographers all the time, like, bro, how'd you get that picture, bro? I can't teach what I saw. I can teach
Wow,
you how
that's so
to play
good.
around with this camera, but I
Hmm.
can't teach you to see what I saw in that moment.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of street photography, documentary photography type stuff, but I was in Belgium.
Okay. Wow.
So when I walked the streets, I stood out. There ain't a lot of folks over there look like me. I got a
Right.
different interactions with the cops there,
Hmm.
but it just kept growing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And then I got into the portrait part by when I was out on the streets and I would come home and look at the images. A lot of my favorite images were of people in their face and clothes,
Wow.
and that's now when I got here, I was like, you know what, let me monetize this thing and see if I
Yeah.
can make a little bit of money
Yeah.
off of it. So
Yeah.
that's where I am now.
I like what you said that you can't teach people what you see.
Correct.
And that is so good because so many people will look at, oh, I can take a picture. Of course, you can take a picture.
Right.
And we could take the picture of the exact same thing, and the pictures still look different.
Yes.
So when you're taking pictures and you're looking at an object, or in your case, a person's face, is there something in you that says, I need to pull this out? There's something here and I need to find it. Well, how do you go about taking that picture and getting the most out of it?
If it's candid street photography stuff, you don't.
Mm,
And I've called out a lot of people on. I'm not everybody's fan favorite in some groups on Facebook because I call it out. Like
wow.
when you're out there shooting on the streets,
Hmm.
you don't have time to be thinking of all these magical, wonderful, artistic stories of, oh, I see this woman interacting with this baby. You don't see
Right.
that because you're
Hmm.
acting so quick. It's not until
Yeah.
you come home and you download the images you start to see these stories laid out in
Hmm.
front of you. But when it comes to my portrait sessions with a client,
Hmm.
a lot of that stuff that I pull out of them is stuff that they've already kind of told me by
Oh, I
just
see.
I just ask a few different questions at the pre-consultation interview or
Hmm.
session when I sit down with them over a cup of coffee or whatever,
Right.
and just ask them their why. Why do you want to do this? What's in you? And a lot of times, honestly, it was a lot of just self-doubt,
Oh,
that
wow.
whole body shame, the
Yeah.
image, society's pressure on bigger women or this or that shape,
Hmm.
and it's all about getting them into the session and bringing that out.
That's so good.
Right. And it's
Hmm.
not until they start seeing a few different pictures in the back of the camera, because I share, and there's a lot of
Oh,
photographers
wow.
that don't share the work with the client because
Hmm.
I want them to see what I see.
Yeah.
Society sees. A lot of times they don't get to see it that way.
True.
So when they see it, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't even believe that's me."
Yeah.
Thank you
That's
so
got to
much.
be a good feeling.
It to me, that type of feedback is way better than any amount of money they could pay me.
Yeah.
It's about them walking out with their chest up, chin up, that
Yeah.
newfound confidence, and being able to feel like they can go out and tackle
The
other
whole
tasks.
rest of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's so many kinds of photographers though too, Stu, right? So you've
Mhm.
got branding photographers, you got people who just do headshots, you've got nature photographers, you've got animal and kids. So what sort of photographer would you say that you are?
Ooh, wait. I hate to use this word, but sometimes I feel like I'm a junk photographer because I can do just about anything.
Okay.
But I have niched myself into a corner with
Mhm.
black and white portrait photography, the boudoirs, the elegant portraits and stuff that you can hang up on the
Yeah.
walls, family, kids, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anything with a camera, I feel like I can do it. I can do it well. So it's just a
Hmm.
matter of being able to tell myself in this market, I can't do everything because if
Yeah.
I feel like I can do everything, I'm in the box with everybody.
Hmm.
Find a way to niche myself out of that box. It's lonely over there by myself a lot of the times when the phone's not ringing, you're not
Yeah.
getting calls, you're not getting the text. But at the same time, when someone finally does hit me up, it's a client that had to do a lot to find me. So I
Mm.
know that they value what I do. They're not going to lowball me. They're going
Hmm.
to show up on time. They're going to love the product. They're not going to ask me to shoot in color. So it's just, I much rather that interaction once or twice a month
Yeah.
than seeing people in my face all day begging for a discount and can we collab and all this other stuff that you got to deal
Right.
with.
Yeah. I love it that you do black and white. I've seen some of your photos and they are absolutely stunning. And there
Thank
is
you.
something different with shooting black and white than in color. So what is that about the black and white for you that you shoot primarily that?
I would tell you, you're the perfect example. You got the red lipstick, the red necklace, the red jacket, the red vase.
Mm-hmm.
I would be distracted by all of that
Mm.
in a color photo.
Mm-hmm.
But if I shoot black and white, I strip all of that away, and now it's about your expression on your face, your eyes. And,
Mm-hmm.
and that's to me the soul of the picture is your eyes. Because most portrait photographers even tell you if their eyes are out of focus, the whole photo is crap.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of these newer cameras they have this auto eye focus little
Mhm.
mechanism that it locks onto the eye no matter where you go, it'll track you because
Right.
they understand that the eye is the most important thing to have in focus in most pictures,
Yeah.
especially portraits. Now there are some
Definitely.
intentional creative things you can do where the eyes are not in focus, but
Mm-hmm.
you would have a lot of purists in your face. That's not a portrait. Her eyes are out of focus. Her face is.
Right.
So the pure portrait work, the eyes are the soul of the picture. If they're out of focus,
Yeah.
the entire photo is junk.
Yeah, that's
So yeah,
interesting. It's something I never think of, we look at pictures because, everyone now carries a camera in their pocket in
of
the
course.
form of whatever phone you love. And some of these cameras now on these phones are ridiculous. I mean, my
They
phone,
are.
it's got three cameras on it. I'm like, what am I
Yeah,
taking? Like,
I got the same thing sitting here.
there you go. Am I taking crime photos? No.
Yeah.
So what's your thought, as a photographer and knowing that everyone is running around with an opportunity to take the world's greatest picture? What's the difference between some of these phone pictures and some of what you would get in your studio?
They not me.
Well, there's that, the end. Thank y'all for coming.
I think it takes an artist. Yeah, there's a stark difference to me
Mm.
between a photographer, a picture taker, and an artist.
Oh,
Right?
that's
Like a
good.
picture taker is just somebody just with a phone snapping as their daily little life.
That's
And here's
me.
my kids, here's my breakfast, here's my dinner. I'm getting ready to go for you know, uh,
Right.
photographer who puts a little bit of effort into it. They understand a little bit of things. But then you have the artist that takes that and even changes it and flips it and says, okay, you shot from this angle where everybody sees from here. I'm
Right.
gonna go, I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna go that way. I'm gonna use this.
Yeah.
Uh, so trust me, the cell phone has made my job very difficult because when you're
Hmm.
talking with clients and then even the cell phone companies, they're marketing the cameras on the phones more than they're
Yeah.
marketing the phone.
Yeah, that's true.
They have one bar service no matter where they go, as long as they got a 13, 14, well, I think now they're up to like 30 megapixel cameras in the back of these phones.
Wow.
And that's some of that is better than the stuff you can buy at Best Buy. You go to the camera section and the phone,
Right.
what? You have to be careful.
Okay.
Techies know that camera on the back of the phone, it may shoot 30 megapixels, but once you start trying to blow it up, it's going to distort pretty quickly because of
Yeah.
the compression of those megapixels and all that
Hmm.
techie stuff. So I
Yeah.
just tell people be careful about thinking you can replace me with your cell phone because you can't. You
I
can't.
that is so good because so many of us have tried to. I'm so sorry. We've tried. But
Of
you're
course.
right. The pictures don't come out the same. We talked earlier before we started recording here is that the stories is what you look for when you're doing these pictures.
Yes.
What does that mean as an artist? What stories are you looking for?
I think it's a story of the person. It's the story of their why, the trauma, someone's been through a lot of abuse, domestic violence, boyfriends, girlfriends, family, and even out on the streets, doing a documentary and street photography stuff. I'm looking for a story. So a lot of times, being from where I'm from, where a lot of drugs, crime, violence, and all that stuff, I am naturally drawn to that nasty, nitty gritty type environment.
Right.
And I've taken pictures of some displaced people. I've taken pictures of drug addicts. I've taken pictures of just anything. I don't
Hmm.
like the pretty stuff. I like that nitty gritty, just how in the hell did you get that close type of picture?
Yeah.
That's what I'm drawn to.
Hmm.
But when it comes to the portrait stuff, it's about just pulling that stuff out of the client, talking
Yeah.
with them,
Hmm.
um, asking those hard questions, especially if it's the boudoir stuff. Like sometimes
Hmm.
boudoir stuff is for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to have a little private collection. So when they do have that moment of, I ain't, you know,
Right.
they can pull it out and be like, oh no, I am. This
I
is
am
beautiful.
all of
I
this.
remember this. Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and, and that's kind of where I like to take it. And then if it's for a partner, I mean, they hang it up in the bedrooms or they open the album up for their
Yeah.
own little intimate little moments,
Hmm.
and it's there.
Yeah. I love it that you're shooting boudoir photos because you have some photographers that will,
Hmm.
but that don't do it well, but they will do the shot. Do you see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But it takes a whole nother level of interest, level of storytelling, even a level of artistry to pull off a boudoir shoot.
Correct.
What do you do differently than maybe another photographer would do in those instances?
I think with my camera, if that
Mm,
makes you got some photographers out there, and like I said, I'm not a fan fave in a lot of different photography groups because I
hmm.
speak my piece on it. I think a lot of photographers, especially male photographers, take advantage of their profession when they're
Wow.
doing these group shoots, and they are getting women that they naturally could not get the attention of, and they're
That's
getting the
so
attention,
sad.
and they bring them in, and next thing you know, some of but it shows in the photos. The photos
Yeah.
are not elegant.
Hmm.
Uh, they're just trying to show off curvy tops and bottoms.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Wow.
blurring of this, blurring of that. But I'm like, to me, a good boudoir session is how much clothing can I get you to keep on, but it still looks like it's not there.
Oh, that's so good.
Because I think a lot of times, especially being a male photographer, I cannot ask a client comfortably, do you mind taking that off so we can get
Right.
this?
Hmm.
If she was comfortable enough to do it, she would have already volunteered to do it. So
Sure.
now, hey, can you drop the bra straps? Can
Mm.
you crisscross your arms a little bit, or bring a knee up, or turn to the side a little bit? Oh, let's use this shadow over here to
Yeah.
conceal the fact that you have clothes on, and with the shadows, and because I shoot in black
Yeah.
and white, it won't
Hmm.
even show up.
So
So
beautiful too.
it's that art of suggestions. To me,
Yeah.
suggest someone almost being nude to me is more powerful than them just showing the world everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree 100%, 100%.
and I just think a lot of photographers lose that. They're just trying to
Yeah.
say, what kind of curvaceous woman can I get in front of my camera today? And
Wow.
but it shows in the photos,
Yeah.
and I speak my piece. I type it real quick, great, but trash, right?
Mm.
Like you could,
Hey,
and I think a lot can do better if they're
yeah,
taught
the
better. But
top
I don't.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Stu, if somebody watching this would say, I'm a photographer, or at least I want to be, what
Hmm.
is some advice that you can give that fledgling photographer, whether they're shooting black and white, nature, families, what kind of advice would you give that person?
Follow your gut. Do what it is that you like to do. Shoot the pictures that you like to shoot.
Mm.
Carve and create a lane for you.
Yeah.
And if other people want to follow, great. But at the end of the day, you're the one as the photographer judging these pictures. They're yours, right? They're the
Hmm.
clients, but clients, if as long as you're shooting the way you want to shoot, clients that like that kind of stuff are going to gravitate to you. You don't have to go out and try to do everything that's trending,
Yeah.
especially if you're not comfortable with doing it.
Hmm.
When I shoot in color, I get back like, ugh, like
It's
it's
just
just
not your jam.
well, no, it's not because I
Hmm.
find myself too often in the editing software playing with color versus playing with the
Yeah.
tones. And they
Hmm.
see the like your red would be so bright because they want
Hmm.
to even more, even though they don't have to with the current.
Yeah.
Now you don't have to do anything, but they will. And it
Mhm.
just looks oversaturated, overworked. But another thing I would tell another photographer too is set your price very close to where you want to be, your end price.
All right.
Start free. Don't start working with these models and IG influencers for free because it's going to be so hard to get out of that free space and start monetizing yourself because you're going to build such a reputation as being the free guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and I tell people to another one of my little phrases. I say, well, the most important thing in life is time. That's why when you go to jail, they take your time. They don't want you to pay no fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna pay that time because
Yeah.
time is precious. So if you're constantly going out here working for free, people are stealing from you. They're stealing your time from you,
That's so true.
and you can't get that back.
Nope.
And they don't even value the work when you're done
Yeah.
because it's free. So
Yeah.
I would say
Let
just
folks pay into
start
it.
close to where you want to be.
Yeah. That is so good. Wow. Stu, if somebody wanted to reach out to you or work with you, where's the best place for them to find you?
My website, www.grumpyvetphotography.com.
All right. And don't worry, everybody. If you didn't get that, all of his contact information is going to be in the description below. And don't forget, while you're here, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. Stu, my friend, before I let you go, we got to play a game.
Uh-oh.
I know. It's good stuff, though. It's all about you. You can do this. The game is simple. It's called What's on Your Mind?
Uh-oh.
It's super simple. I'm going to give you a sentence, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes out of your mind as you finish the sentence. Are you ready to play?
That's dangerous. Okay. I'm gonna
Here we
try.
go. Y'all been warned. Here we go. First thing, if I had to do it all over again, I would.
Ooh, I would have picked up well, you know what? I would have asked my parents about photography because come to find out my dad had a 28 millimeter camera in his pocket his entire time in Vietnam. And I just found those slides and all that stuff from that. And and that's what I would change. I would ask more questions as a kid about art and photography and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Because I've been an artist my whole life, but I never really asked, to figure out where I got it from. And coming to find out
Yeah.
my dad
There you
was,
go. It's all
yeah.
good. All right. This morning, I wish I would have.
Slept in a little longer.
I think all of us can totally relate.
I was up at 4, so yeah,
You're out
yeah.
of the military, Stu. You don't have to.
I went to bed too early. I went to bed at like 8, 9, and next thing you know, I'm staring at the walls at 4 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
you're
So
done sleeping. Okay,
yeah.
I got it. When I go to the grocery store, the first aisle I hit is.
Electronics?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
I go to Walmart. So yeah, I go to electronic aisle, then I make my way around.
And then pick up the apples and the bread. I
Right,
got
right, right.
it.
I'm
When
not a
I
big
go,
grocery shopper.
I nothing wrong with that. When I go to my closet, the first article I look for is,
Some Levi's.
oh, so you're a jeans guy.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not mad
Yeah.
about it. Love the hat too, by the way. I think
Thank
that is
you.
very cool.
But my hats aren't in my closet, or that probably would have been the first thing I probably would have said. So,
Oh, okay. I like
yeah.
it. I like it. When I get in my car, my music choice is
Outcast.
really.
Hmm.
Oh, that now that's interesting. We're gonna have to talk about that because I am an
Yeah.
Outcast fan. I do. There's
Yeah.
some stuff I really like from Outcast that, they're not doing much anymore. I think that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
And finally, my friend, if I had my choice to be anywhere in the world, I would be.
Jamaica.
Nice. Yeah, you like hot weather. I keep remembering.
No, I'm as much as I like material stuff, I could do without it. And I wouldn't mind just dipping off the grid just with a camera, somewhere to charge the battery every once in a while.
Yeah. Man, that would
Yeah.
be cool. Awesome. Stu,
Yeah.
thanks so much for being with me today. I appreciate it, sir.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That's it for this week. But don't worry, we'll be back next week with more Faith on Friday Presents.